Brazil has got that against Colombia, and it was the Eliminatorios Sudamericans Copa Libertadores. I mean, they have got that Copa Mundial FIFA 2026. Brazil getting that 2-1. It was Vinicius Junior getting those late stoppage time goal in 93rd minute. Oh my God. Brazil has got that goal against Colombia. My God. Ukraine has got a 2-goal lead against Belgium, and that is a comeback from Ukraine. Can you just imagine that? It has happened. Oh my goodness. Netherlands and Spain, that is a draw. And the Oranges, they were down to 10 men. But Luis de la Fuente's man getting those comebacks. It was again Mikel Merino getting those stoppage time goals. What is that happening in the UEFA Nations League? Spain has got a draw against Cristiano Ronaldo has got that defeat against Denmark. Denmark has dominated this game. Oh my goodness, the stats are looking damn annoying. 23 shots Denmark has taken, whereas it is the likes of Martinez man, Portugal, there, a win leg. Only 8 shots and 2 on target. What is happening wrong with Portugal in the UEFA Nations League quarterfinals? This champs man just couldn't get past the FIFA ranking 13 Croatians, and they have got a 2-0 upset against Deschamps, men in blue, Kylian Mbappe and his company just couldn't get a single goal. Oh my God, the Nations League matches has been causing those ups. Douglas man got that win against the Azures. Dean Minschaft getting a comeback goal. Oh my God. The Germans hasn't lost to the Azures after 2012, and in the past 7 meetings, the Dean Minschaft has been ruling the Azures. Welcome back to another episode with FC RAMSAY, and the UEFA Nations League matches were happening the last night, but we couldn't watch this game, Brazil and Colombia, because the official links was not available, and that is why I just couldn't stream this. But we were having the watch in those cheeky peeky links. Those are available in our social media platforms. You can get to join that and avail that. But officially streaming these matches when it is not being telecast on the platforms live, that is something the fans are disheartening, because this game, Brazil and Colombia, the attendance of 70,000 fans at the Garincha Stadium, it was looking great. But Brazil making it good against Colombia, that was the thing which happened. And it was the goals of Rafinha getting a penalty, and it was Vinicius Junior getting those stoppage time goals against the likes of Colombia. But it is Brazil who has made it good, and just look at this table. It is Argentina who is at the top, still a game in hand, but Brazil now are at the second spot of this. So in the CONMEBOL Libertadores, it is Brazil and the likes of Argentina definitely going to make it. But today is the game where Argentina is also facing Uruguay. If the live matches are there on those official streaming partners, we will just stream that. And if not, you can join those cheeky picky links from our social media platforms. Apart from that, it was also the likes of Belgium against Ukraine. My goodness, it was Ukraine who got those comeback goals. And who could have expected that this thing was going to happen? Because it was the likes of Rebrov, their manager from Ukraine. Ukraine is that FIFA ranking 25 to be talking, and Belgium is the 8th rank in the FIFA. It was in the UEFA Nations League qualifications which this game was being played. It was Belgium, Lukaku the man who got that. It was Rudi Garcia, the new manager for Belgium, getting it good. But Ukraine got those comeback goals. My goodness, that is looking something annoying for Belgium. Are they going to make it? They have been seen dropping down the points in the FIFA rankings in the past 3 to 4 years. Belgium is not looking good these days. And also, on the other hand, it was the likes of the Croatians who were up against Didier Deschamps, men in blue, but it was disheartening. It was disheartening. Man in blue, Didier Deschamps' man has also been seen dropping down their points, but Croatia is now at the 13th point. They have been dropping points more than France, but France at the second spot just couldn't get a goal out of Kylian Mbappe to be talking about. What is that? Because in the lineups, it was Colomwani, it was Mbappe, it was Dembele. On the center backs, it was Koundé, Konate, Saliba, Dean. On the goalkeeping positions, it was Magnan. In the mid page, it was Chouameni, Rabiot, Guendouzi. What is wrong happening with Didier Deschamps? France, the Frenchman, need a new manager to be talking about. And if Zinedine Zidane is going to make it, then that will be the thing which the French needs to have some sort of comeback in the pitch of football, because the stats are looking disheartening. 10 shots taken on target, 5 out of that. But what is that with so much possession? It is the Croatians, the likes of Budimir and even Perisic getting those 2 goals. It is something disheartening which has happened for France in the second leg. Will they be able to make that big or not? It is a big question to be upcoming. And on the other hand, Denmark against the likes of Portugal, oh my God, Portugal just couldn't register any shots, just 8 on target, whereas Denmark dominated with that 23, but a 1-goal lead against Portugal. And the second leg will be played at Lisbon. Portugal are definitely going to make those comebacks. And yes, the likes of Martinez and his company will definitely get it good going. No denying the fact, Roberto Martinez and Cristiano Ronaldo will make it, with the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Rafa Leo, Neto to be talking. But so far, this is some sort of disheartening aspect, because Denmark dominated this game against Portugal, but only taking a slender advantage of 1 goal. Will that be some sort of advantage in the second leg? I don't think so, that Portugal can be dominated from this game. This is the game which I'm talking about. Netherlands against the likes of Spain. Oh my goodness, how could Netherlands manage to get those 2 goals? And it was the likes of Gakpo getting those 2 goals. I mean, 1 goal, and it was Reinders getting that. Reinders in the Nations League has been doing good, and it is definitely the likes of their manager, Ronald Koeman, who is developing Reinders into that for a long time. And Reinders have been seen performing as well as Cody Gakpo getting it. It was the likes of 82nd minute where Netherlands just dropped to 10 man with Hato, their man, getting those red cards. It was something disheartening which happened, and from the starting of this game, it was the likes of those goals which were being celebrated from Netherlands from the starting of this. But no denying the fact, it was Spain who got those late comebacks. I mean, in just 93rd minute, it was that goal which came in, and who could have just imagine that Mikel Merino is the man from Arsenal getting those upsides? Oh my goodness, but Luis de la Fuente, is he getting that right choice of players? Because it is at the Barcelona, Hansi Flick being making those different changes. Is it looking good for the Spaniards? Because we have made that video why Hansi Flick's tactical approaches at Barcelona is getting bit critical for Luis de la Fuente to be implementing his gameplay, and it was in the lineups where he went for those 4-3-3 build-ups. It was looking very much annoying because Luis de la Fuente has changed his tactical approach in this game, what he was doing in the Euros. And the stats over here, look at it, the Spaniards got 15 shots, whereas Netherlands were clinical mode, 10 shots on target, but 82% accuracy, and that of the Spaniards with 87%. That is something bad. That is something bad. 4 corners they have gotten, but the second leg, which the Spaniards will be making it. And with this lineup, do you think that there is any sort of changes which Luis de la Fuente and his men are going to make it? Because it was the likes of Zubimendi, Pedri, and the likes of Ruiz on the mid-pitch, whereas Morata, Yamal, and Williams were there. Morata is seen dropping down in his form. Is that the factor which is happening? What is that which is cooking bad for the likes of Luis de la Fuente to be talking? Hansi Flick's tactics approach at Barcelona is causing those upsets because it was the likes of Kubarsi and Lenormand were put, and Pedro Porro and the likes of Cucurella were chosen, and on the goalkeeping position it was Unai Simon. And the substitutions which was made, Perez, Dani Olmo, Huijsen is the man who was called in. He was in the news for getting those pickups by Luis de la Fuente into the squad, but where are those big players from Barcelona going to make that? Is it the thing which was looking happening? But it is a draw for that. We'll be waiting for that second leg to be happening. What is actually going to be the result of these two nations colliding with each other? But last and not the least, this is the game which we were talking about. It is the Azures against the Germans. Die Mannschaft hasn't got a loss against the Azures, and the Azures hasn't been able to make a win against Die Mannschaft since 2012. It is the now past last 7 meetings where Azures haven't been getting a point out of the Die Mannschaft to be talking about. This game started in so good, and not denying the fact there was nothing looking to be much annoying because the Azures went in with the likes of this lineup. It was something very much annoying because the Raspadori and Moiskin were the man. Retegui was absent and due to his injuries wasn't present there. That was the big upset which Spalletti got in his team. But Calafiori, Bastoni, Di Lorenzo, these were the man with the likes of Udogi, Tonali, Rovella, Barella, Politano on the mid-pitch, and Donnarumma, their elite goalkeeper, was there. But Spalletti and his men, they were put on a bait. That was a big bait which Julius Englishman got in the squad. And look at the lineups for the Die Mannschaft. It was Amiri, the number 11 from Mainz. He was that new man who has been picked. Julius Nagelsmann has given that number 11 to Amiri. He is basically a defensive midfield. He is on the wings. It is the likes of Jonathan Buchard. He is the man from Mainz again. 2 options which Nagelsmann has got. But Jonathan Buchard just couldn't make those big performances. What he was expected, number 7, to be precise in his role and in the striking options. It was Leroy Sané, number 19 on the wings, Musiala, Bambi, the man on the wings as well, Pascal Gross and Goretzka on the mid-pitch, but Captain Kimmich on the right backs, and Rudiger, Jonathan Tah, and Rom on the left backs. It was Bowman, the unavailability of Jonas Ubik, the unavailability of Manuel Neuer. It is Bowman, the experienced man from Hoffenheim, staying there for the past 11 years. He was picked on these goalkeeping positions. He has also made those appearances for the Die Mannschaft in the Nations League prior to that. But in this game, Bowman was making those saves, no denying the fact. This game all started with this. Look at that. It was in the training sessions where a total of 70,000 fans has gathered at Fan Zero for this epic game of the Azures against the Die Mannschaft. And in just 9 minutes, it was the likes of the Italians getting those first goals. It was Tonali making those deep laying moments out of the box. He made it. Whose fault was that? Was it that man marking the likes of Moiskin on the pitch? Rudiger was there. He could do that. It was the likes of Pascal Gross or Goretzka not getting those defensive midfield positions good. Or it was the lack of Captain Kimmich not getting those wide pole movements against Tonali and not blocking him? Or was it the fault of Bowman? It is a big question which Nagelsmann will be having into that. And picking up that squad up to that first minute, Germany were looking lethal with those crosses, but inside the box, those clinical finishings were not happening from the likes of Clean Deans, from the likes of Amiri, Leroy Sané, and to be talking about that company wasn't doing so good inside the box, but it was the crosses, it was those wide angle passes which were happening, and with a 94% pass accuracy, the Minshaft were dominating in the first half, but only with terms of possessions and passes, but not in that clinical finishings inside the box. But after that, it was the substitution which was much expected, and Nagelsmann did it. He dropped down Bukart, brought in Klindins, then David Rom was the man called for those substitutions, and Schlotterbeck coming in. It was just after that substitution, what a marvelous cross that went from the likes of Captain Kimmich, and he made that so good. That was something which Klindins was waiting for, and that cross which has got such a swing and went straight to the likes of Klindins. Donnarumma, who was getting those saves in the first half, this time just couldn't get anything. It was Klindins with those headers converting it that beautiful, superb equalizer against the Azuris. It was some sort of comebacks because Nagelsmann in the first lineup against the Azuris has put those two baits, the likes of Bukart and the likes of Amiri. And Spalletti, on the other hand, in the first lineup has brought his full pitch of players to be taking in the second half. They were not looking at that good, and it was again those things were happening. But the referee decisions on this game, I would say, much of those decisions were looking in favor of the Azuris, whereas a simple foul was being called, a whistle being blown on the pitch, and they were giving a free kick for the Azuris to be happening. It was the likes of Nagelsmann who was seen furious on the sidelines with those decisions from the match official, the referee on the page to be talking about. It was the likes of Frankos Ladex here, the man. Some of his decisions were not looking good from my side. And then the likes of Spalletti bringing on those substitutions of Bellanova. It was the likes of Risi, the man on the pitch. He was called. It was again Nagelsmann making those substitutions of Amiri. That man was much expected in 66th minute and bringing in leveling. That was the thing which we were needing in the wings to be happening. But again, it was Spalletti bringing in junior Daniel Mendini on the pitch. He is this attacking midfield player at Lazio, placing it good. But will he be the name for the Italians like the Senior Maldini, the epic centre-back defender in the history of football? But again, it was Leon Goretzka getting those headers from those corners. It was Joshua Kimmich who was looking lethal with his crosses, with his lofted balls, with his aerial passes, which he was getting all those curls inside the pitch. Man, Captain Kimmich was a marvel kid in this, and he has got those contact extensions at FC Bayern. Now his lethal form is looking much onto the pitch. And then it was the presence of Adeyemi coming in from the likes of Dortmund, Leroy Sané dropping in, and Moise Kean was the man with Spalletti got those substitutions. And after that, it all went on. But that second goal, which the Minshaft got, it was the Azuris at their home of San Siro just couldn't make any sort of comeback with that. They were looking tactically helpless. And it was the likes of Spalletti who was being exposed in the first half from the likes of Nagelsmann. It was the Tonali, the man who was their man who was doing it so good. But in the second half, they just couldn't get those equalizers. And what a win that was for the Minshaft into this. And this brought that the Minshaft are still invincible against the likes of the Azuris. For the past 12 years, 12 to 13 years, Minshaft has been registering that win against them. But this lead of one goal, the next leg which we played at the likes of Dortmund, it is the Signal Iduna Park, where the second leg will be played between Italy and Germany. Will that be the thing to watch? UEFA Nations League is taking a big toll out of those upsets as well as those dramas are happening. And today also we will be having the watch along of England and Albania. And in the CONMEBOL Libertadores, if there is the game between the likes of Uruguay and Argentina, if the official match links are working, we will be streaming that. And if not, we will be getting those cheeky picky links, and those are available in our social media platforms. Do join us. And yes, Minshaft, Julius Nagelsmann has made that good. We are going to make it. And it is again Nagelsmann proving that he is that dominant force. The Minshaft are still that dominant force in the Europe, in the World Cup to be happening. What is that? The future will tell us more about into this. Till then, keep going. Bye-bye. And before ending this, give us those likes, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye, guys.